Yes, you guys know what that music means. Hello, I am Kevin John. Welcome to the second week of high school football. Now, as with every week, ABC 10 was all throughout the Sac-Joaquin section to get the best high school football highlights for you guys. So anyway, let me go ahead and shut up so we can kick off the show. ABC 10's Matt George is standing by with our game of the week.
I'm Matt George here at Bradshaw Christian High School, where the Pride have not lost a game on their home field since October of 2021. Well, tonight in our ABC 10 Game of the Week, the Vista Del Lago Eagles look to snap that streak. Almost exactly 1 year ago, Bradshaw Christian defeated Vista Del Lago 50-48 in a game that went down to the wire. Tonight, the Eagles had revenge on the mind, and they looked like it early on. Their opening drive, quarterback Jacoby Moore hit senior captain Jackson Cromwell in the flat, and his legs do all the work. He finds space down the sideline and takes this one all the way in for 6. A great start for the Eagles, but here's the thing about the Pride. They have one of the trickiest run playbooks in the section. It's a blast to watch, but a nightmare to try and shoot. I was completely fooled on this play. When I finally found the football, Bishop Porter was long gone. Bradshaw Christian answers right back, but their trickery wasn't done there. Second quarter, someone tell me where the heck is the football on this play? Does he have it? No. Him? Nope. Oh, there it is in the hands of Mason Pisarski, who is a beast of a running back, by the way. He reaches pay dirt to give the Pride the lead. Vista Del Lago's run game is nothing to scoff at either, albeit it's much easier to see who has the football. But even when you know Jackson Cromwell has it, you still got to stop him. He goes right through the chest of the Pride defense and into the end zone for the second time tonight. Second half now, and sometimes broken plays turn into gold. That was the case here for Jacoby Moore, who turns his bobbled snap into a huge run. And that set up the hat trick. For the third time tonight, Jackson Cromwell trots into the end zone. And if there was such thing as high school fantasy football, well, this young man would have won you the week. But as great as he was, the Bradshaw Christian run game was just simply better. Here's Mason Pisarski again. If you've ever heard the term power back, well, that's what this young man is. He just refuses to go down. That massive run puts the Pride back in scoring position, and senior Devin Hatcher caps off the drive with another touchdown. Bradshaw Christian's incredible home undefeated streak continues. They defeat Vista Del Lago 50-28. After the game, I caught up with Pisarski and asked him what makes his team so unstoppable at home.
I feel like our home crowd really brings a lot of energy to us, and it really allows us just to play so much better, sir. I think the sky's the limit. All of us, we just got to keep working, keep busting our tails Saturday to Thursday, and we just got to keep getting better and keep communicating every day. We got to stay positive and keep lifting each other up.
All right, thank you, Matt. Congratulations to Bradshaw Christian. Well, we're going to keep this party going with the hottest ticket in the 209. The annual Holy Bowl took center stage in Stockton, and this game is always sure to entertain. Let's head to my hometown of Stockton, and you know it's the Holy Bowl when they're saying a prayer beforehand. The St. Mary's Rams hosting the Central Catholic Raiders of Modesto. The Rams put up a 50-piece last Friday night, while Central Catholic's still seeking their first dub of the season. We'll pick this one up in the first quarter. Central Catholic strikes blood first. Isaiah Fagata runs this up the gut for the touchdown. Just like that, it's 7-0 Central Catholic. But back come the Rams later in the quarter. Watch this pass by Jaden Galvin off his back foot, and Jerry Cross runs under it, gets 1 foot down before going out of bounds. Oh-wee! Now later on the drive, St. Mary's in the red zone. Jeremiah Brown, get on down. Hit me. Jeremiah runs us there for the touchdown. The Rams are on the board. Central Catholic, though, they would show some fight, but St. Mary's was too much on the night. Oh, that rhymed. The Rams put up a 50-piece for the second straight week, dismantling the Raiders 52-28. St. Mary's moves to a perfect 2-0 on the season. Now, staying in the 209, next we're heading to Lincoln High School, where the Trojans are hosting the Oakdale Mustangs. We'll pick this one up in the second quarter. Lincoln in the red zone. Just Shannon Martin Jr. takes the pitch. He gets in for the touchdown. That gave the Trojan fans something to cheer about. But back comes Oakdale. Richard Flores claps back with a touchdown of his own. This game was all Oakdale. They go on to defeat the Trojans 70-30. Well, anytime I set foot on the campus of 12 Bridges in Lincoln, it's always a good time. From the vibes to the school spirit to the band. Oh yeah, by the way, they also have a darn good football team. We're heading to Lincoln, home of the internationally known Raging Rhinos. Their student section, always lit. Not to mention, the band is always worth the price of admission. Chris Bean and 12 Bridges hosting the Reed Raiders out of Sparks, Nevada. And if you love offense, you're gonna love this game. Reed would strike first as Broen Rios bounces this outside and gets into the end zone for 6. Rios was a monster on the night. That gave Reed an early lead, but you know you can't hold a Raging Rhino down for long. Later in the first, Reed trying to do the designed QB run, but Corday Johnson says, "Not on my watch, playa." Johnson makes an incredible play in the backfield. Now later in the quarter, 12 Bridges in the red zone. Connor Frontiera calls his own number. He will not be denied as he breaks the plane, scores the touchdown. That put the Raging Rhinos on the board. Also, shout out to the junior cheerleaders right there. So adorable. All right, to the second quarter now. 12 Bridges back in the red zone. Josh Chittum gets the ball in the end around, and this dude runs smoother than a jar of Skippy. Josh gets in for the touchdown. This game was a back-and-forth heavyweight fight, but in the end, 12 Bridges, they defeat Reed 45-31. The Raging Rhinos are a perfect 2-0 on this season. Next, we're heading to another school in Lincoln that always has great vibes. The Lincoln Fighting Zebras hosting the Woodland Wolves. We'll pick this one up in the second quarter. Lincoln in the red zone. Dylan Nell gets the pitch. I'm just going to call him Dylan Dynamite. Yeah, Dynamite nearly takes this in for the touchdown. He stopped inches short. Lincoln would turn the ball over on downs, but it didn't matter because a few minutes later, Lincoln would find themselves back in the red zone, and this time they would capitalize. Brock Gaylor takes this one up the gut. Watch him dive through like Superman. Lincoln up 21-6 at this point, and they would add to it. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance for this play. Eli Duff makes an absolute beautiful pass to Julian Defoe for the touchdown, but number 8 accidentally got in front of my shot there, so you don't see the amazing catch. It's all good. I forgive you, Aiden. This game was all Lincoln. They go on to pound Woodland 48-12. Lincoln is now 2-0 on the season. Well, we're going to keep this show going. I'm not tired yet. Next, we're heading to West Park, where the Panthers are anxious for their first win of the season. But then again, no win is ever easy when you're going against them Vacaville Bulldogs. Let's head on over to Roseville. West Park, always a vibe. The Bulldogs making the 60-mile trip from Vacaville to be there. Both teams looking for their first win of the season. We're going to pick this one up in the first. Vacaville in the red zone. Breeden Jackson is going to find his man Braden Wright for the score right there near the corner of the end zone. Bulldogs take an early 6-0 lead, but back come the Panthers. Declan Schindelbauer gets in for the tutty. West Park would take a 7-6 lead. But how about that Panther defense? I'm glad you asked. Gavin McDonald, will you please stand up? Oh, no reason for him to stand when he can dive and get interceptions. Ooh, that was nice. Now later on, you know, no West Park highlights are complete without Jaden Jackson throwing a tutty. There he hits Jax Madden for the touchdown. This game, all West Park, they go on to win 22-6. Now staying in Roseville, and a rivalry over a century old, the Oakmont Vikings hosting the Roseville Tigers, who got off to a strong start. Now Ko Takahashi breaks a few tackles, runs this in for the touchdown, giving the Tigers an early 14-0 lead. Oakmont needed a little momentum to shift to try and get back in the game, and they got one after Roseville fumbled this punt return, but still the Tigers were able to maintain control. They improved to 2-0 to start the season, to start with a 34-14 victory. Next, we're heading to Elk Grove, where the Thundering Herd are hungry for their first win of the season, especially after being shut out last week, but standing in their way, the Downey Knights of Modesto. We're kicking off the highlights with Downey quarterback Julian Masanai throwing a dart to receiver Isaiah Castillo for the 41-yard touchdown. But see, the Thundering Herd come right back with Hudson Hall. Yeah, you'll see him in a second. He's going to hand off to the big man, Alfonso Moore Jr., who fights in for the touchdown right after the end of the first half. Yeah, Alfonso drinks milk. This game went down to the wire with Downey scoring the game-winning touchdown with a minute to go. They defeat Elk Grove 43-42. Finally, we're heading to Sheldon, where the Pleasant Grove Eagles are hosting the Lodi Flames. Pleasant Grove riding high after shutting out River City last week, while the Flames still looking for their first win of the season. Now check out this play by Lodi quarterback Jacob Bent. He escapes the pressure, then throws an absolute dot to Drew Tetz to give the Flames an early lead, but Pleasant Grove's run game was straight nasty. Hope you brought your Lysol wipes, because this was filthy. Helkili Hernandez breaks loose for a 44-yard touchdown to get the Eagles on the board. Pleasant Grove even reached into their bag of tricks a time or two on the night, leading to a statement 43-22 victory, meaning they start the season at 2-0. And if you can't get enough of high school football, we have more highlights on the ABC 10 Plus app. Be sure to check it out. Well, guys, that is my time. You all have yourselves a beautiful Saturday.